iOS 26 has been released on your iPhone. But why does it go from 18 straight to 26? The thing is, to avoid confusion, Apple abandoned the standard system numbering and tied it to the year instead. And not to the current year, but to the next one, since these systems will be relevant for most of that year, specifically 9 months. So now we definitely won't get confused. We have macOS 26, watchOS 26, and iOS 26. It's available starting from the iPhone 11 and the second generation SE. And of course, I'll also tell you how it works on older iPhones. But first, an important reminder for absolutely everyone. After you've updated your iPhone, restart it, put it on charge with Wi-Fi enabled, and leave it for a couple of hours. If you don't do this, you might experience freezes, overheating, and a spoiled impression of the new OS. Although it really does work very, very well. But in the first few days, there might be issues with some apps, so don't forget to update them in the App Store for smooth performance. Let's start with the biggest change in all Apple systems in recent years. We're greeted by Liquid Glass, a new design style unified across iPhone, iPad, Mac, Watch, and even Apple TV. No other mobile system has ever gone to such lengths. Here, everything is dynamic and filled with animations from the password entry screen to the smallest toggle in the system. Just rotate your iPhone in your hands and you'll see how highlights shimmer on folders and widgets. Or take this simple element in Apple Music. If you drag the button slowly, you can notice how pleasant the animation is here. But the most impressive thing is slowly pulling down the control center. It looks very pleasant and all the content in the background is noticeable but doesn't interfere with display or perception. The new look is much more impressive, but it doesn't affect battery life. And iOS 26 behaves like a stable iOS 18. Attention to detail in the most unexpected places. For example, the toggles have a slight springiness if you pull on them, and it looks impressive. If you go into the appearance editor, you'll find a new transparent style. In it, the icons can be light, dark, or tinted. But the main thing is that all the colors disappear from the icons. I think it's an interesting idea, but not everyone will like it. Let me know in the comments if you're ready to use this style all the time. The most interesting thing is that in editing mode, you can change the color of widget icons to match your iPhone or your case, but only if you have an original Apple case. Now let's talk about the lock screen. Now you can move widgets to the bottom of the screen, and you can stretch the clock to the middle of the screen. By the way, the clock is also glassy and reflects light when you tilt the phone. There's quick access to photos for choosing wallpapers and creating a 3D effect, which you can apply to any photo. And now let's talk about music and sounds. For example, we now have animated album covers in Apple Music. When you're on the lock screen, tap the album cover and it will expand to fill the entire screen. And if it's an animated cover, you'll see the animation. By the way, I noticed that on Wi-Fi it might not work even on the release version. But it's quite likely that this will be fixed in upcoming updates. Next, the library section now has pinning. Here you can pin your albums or playlists. In addition, the transition between tracks has been improved. The system automatically decides when to move from one track to the next. With the same tracks, it can work differently each time. I really liked it. 6 new ringtones have also been added to the system. They are now set as default. As for the microphone, the iPhone has always automatically detected external devices, but now you can manually choose which microphone will work from your iPhone or AirPods. Next. Now, any audio file can be made into a ringtone, but of course there's a catch. Ringtones on the iPhone last no more than 30 seconds, so you'll need to trim the file first. Let's move on to the camera section. There have also been significant changes here, but don't be alarmed right away. Everything has become very minimalist, but at the same time quite convenient. At the bottom, you'll find the photo and video modes. By swiping left and right, we see other modes. If you notice, the direction in iOS 18 has changed, but you can revert it back in the camera settings. It's convenient that you can switch all the modes right in one window. A useful feature. Now your camera can send you a notification when your lenses need cleaning. There's a separate option for this in the camera settings, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes just touching the cameras is enough to get a notification, and other times the image can be so blurry that you can't see anything at all, but no notification appears. In any case, this only works on the iPhone 15 Pro and newer, and I doubt it will be added to other iPhones. Now let's move on to the photo gallery. And the most important thing here is that it has become simpler. There's the media library. Here, all your photos and videos are collected, and next to it are the collections. Here you'll find all the folders, suggestions, recently deleted, and the trash bin. And in fact, all of this can be flexibly customized to your liking. The battery settings section has also changed significantly. And oh miracle! Now we can see the time remaining until the battery is fully charged. It also shows how much charge is left until it reaches 80%. In general, in the battery section, You'll now find more information about your charge. Here you have statistics for the last 8 days, and the iPhone analyzes not only how actively you use your battery, but also gathers information about which apps you do it in. There's also a new adaptive mode, and it's so useful that you might want to enable it right after updating. In adaptive mode, your iPhone analyzes how you use your apps. If today you use more battery than usual, the iPhone recognizes this and conserves power in other apps. Maybe this feature was created for the thin iPhone, but it's useful for everyone. It's important to note that there were rumors adaptive mode would require Apple Intelligence, but that's not the case. I don't have Apple Intelligence enabled, and my iPhone analyzes data from the past 8 days and works perfectly. But you can only draw conclusions about the iPhone's performance after a week, since the system needs time to collect statistics. Among the minor changes, there's a new animation when the battery is running low. They've also updated the animation for low power mode, and now your iPhone will send a notification if your AirPods are either low on battery or fully charged. Let's move on to messages and files. Now you can create polls in messages and change the background in conversations. It looks really beautiful. Go to the contact card in the background section, and you can choose your favorite animation and its color. In addition, you can now conduct polls directly within the chat. There are also small changes. You can now customize folders by adding symbols and emojis to them. The horizontal mode has also been updated, and it's really become convenient. Next, there have been changes to the icons. For example, they've changed the clock face, the drop icon, and other standard app icons. After taking a screenshot, it can either be displayed full screen or immediately turn into a thumbnail in the corner of the screen. You can choose the format that's most convenient for you in the screenshot settings. And now, the legendary 9-minute snooze on the alarm can be changed, letting you choose any snooze duration you want. There's a dedicated gaming mode for games. It existed before, but now they've just made it cooler. I can't say anything specific about it. It didn't give me a wow effect. It's just a regular gaming app. A new emoji mixing feature has been added. The system has learned to combine emojis into a single one without a text description. Maybe someone will like this. Let's better talk about how all this works on older iPhones and move on to the conclusion. I took an iPhone 11 Pro Max running iOS 26 and used it for a while. I can say that you can update it, but you don't need to. Apps are poorly optimized, but the system itself works great. After using it for a while, I was satisfied, but in some apps, like the Navigator, the iPhone heats up and the battery drains quickly. You can also create 3D, but if you have an old battery, I don't recommend it. It can be hard on the phone. But I know what can be easy for you: subscribing and leaving a like. Thank you, it means a lot to me. See you in the next video.